Did y'all know that having ADHD medication could get you in trouble in Japan? That was so wild to me because I was thinking about how many people probably bring their Adderall with them on trips and don't even realize that they could get arrested. Then I was like, hold up, there are probably a bunch of things that are legal in the United States that could land you in jail in other countries. So I did some digging and turns out there are. Here are a few that were absolutely wild to me. Since we're already on Japan, let me just emphasize that they do not play about medications. There are things that we take in the United States that are considered controlled substances there. I already mentioned Adderall, but there are also allergy and cold medications that are banned there. So if you rely on certain medications, do not assume that you can just bring them anywhere. Even if you have a prescription, they do not care. This next one, I was like, I'm sorry, what? But apparently you can't have chewing gum in Singapore. They banned it in 1992 because people didn't know how to act. They were sticking it on subway doors, under tables, everywhere, just places that gum has no business being. So if you try to bring it into the country, you could face fines or even jail time. I would be so mad if I ended up in jail over a pack of Orbit. Now, if you love camo print fashion, be careful where you wear it, because in certain countries, camo is reserved strictly for the military. It's kind of scary how easy that particular law is to break because they sell camo all over the place here. I even bought an authentic Marines jacket that was donated to a thrift store in New York, and they had a lot of them. This is it right here, and you can see it actually says US Marines, but I don't wear it very much anymore because I don't want anyone to like thank me for my service and then I gotta be like, I just be posting videos on the internet. In the US, you can take pictures of the White House, no problem, right? Well, if you try something like that in a place like the UAE, you might have some explaining to do. Taking photos of government buildings, military sites, or even certain airports can be seen as a security threat. Best case, they make you delete the photo. Worst case, you could be fined or detained. So maybe just take a mental photograph? Back to Japan real quick. I once read on the State Department website that US citizens and US military personnel have been arrested or detained for carrying a pocket knife. It might seem harmless, but Japan does not play about weapons. This one might hit a little close to home for my Gen Z followers, but if you vape, you might want to look up local laws before you puff. In Thailand, bringing in an e-cigarette is illegal. Yeah, sure, people still find ways to traffic them in, but you're doing that at your own risk. Also in Thailand, they have something called lèse-majesté laws, which basically means that you cannot talk about the royal family. So while you can criticize politicians here all day from their clothes to their policies, you can't pull that with the royal family over there. In the US, you can pretty much go anywhere without really needing an ID. But in certain countries, you have to have some form of identification on you at all times. And if the police ask you for it and you don't have it, then, well, you already know. I'm really bad about this one because people be stealing. And I'm not trying to have to go down to the embassy to get an emergency passport and take a whole day out of my trip. What I usually do is keep a picture of my passport on my phone and then kind of hope that that's good enough. I know. These were kind of wild, right? Every country operates differently, and when you leave the United States, it does not matter what you used to do back home. You have to abide by the laws of that country. And some of these laws are so easy to accidentally break. One time I almost brought camel pants into Guatemala until a commenter was like, you should probably look into whether or not that's legal there. It wasn't. I could have ruined my whole trip in one packing mistake. Imagine getting arrested over some pants after I'd spent all that money. But for real, if you're traveling, always check local laws before you go. You don't want to be that American making headlines over something totally avoidable. Let me know in the comments, have you ever gotten in trouble abroad or almost gotten in trouble abroad for something you didn't know was illegal? Or is there a surprising law I should add to this list? Like and subscribe for more travel stories and travel content.